how a 15-year-old discovered an ancient city. I thought it was pretty neat. So William Gadoury, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so just William G.
Gadoury.
Gadoury. Oh, I don't want to make fun of it, but William G., a Canadian 15-year-old school kid, discovered a lost Mayan city by comparing star charts with satellite imagery. And at first, the first article I read mentioned that the satellite imagery was just Google Maps. I was like, oh, that's cool. But he actually got super specialized and localized radar sat 2 geoimagery from some Canadian people from a science competition that he got from a science competition that he entered. And it's pretty sick. Like he named the city the Mouth of Fire, the 4th biggest Mayan city, at least biggest Mayan ruins ever found. It was it was pretty funny. It was inspired. His research was inspired by the 2012 Mayan calendar world-ending apocalypse talk that happened that year. And yeah, he discovered it. By comparing star charts with satellite imagery. Isn't that crazy? Like, wow. if this kid ever becomes an archaeologist, that's already one hell of a resume right there.
That's really impressive. And it shows that he has the skills if he wants to be an archaeologist.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, like, Tyler, what do you think?
I'm just thinking of remember when December 21st, 2012 just came and went?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm
right, nice.
Because you brought up the 2012. Well, like, yeah. Is that just how he got interested in the mindset?
Yeah, that's what inspired me. That's what got him interested. Okay. So like,
going back to when we had our conversation on this previously, when you told me about when you were just first telling me about the articles that you found. So like, to explain a bit more, like, he was just looking at star charts and looking at the maps of where Mayan ruins had been found and noticed that they were like lining up with the stars and constellations. That's what he noticed?
Yeah. So I was gonna go in more detail after after your opinion. Or not opinion, after I asked you. But yeah. So like
you mean after my fact?
After your fact. But yeah, so
I only spit facts here.
Yes. So after he was inspired by Mayan cities, after the 2012 Mayan calendar and world apocalypse scares, he entered a science competition where he brought up his idea that, the Mayan cities might actually be toe-to-toe with constellations. And so he analyzed 22 Mayan star maps from the Madrid Codex, which, if you don't know, is like some old Mayan texts that have like star maps. And they have them up in a museum, and they actually look really sick. But like, he has studied 22 Mayan star maps from, and I think all included the Madrid Codex. And just to go into more detail, the Madrid Codex is one of the 3 surviving pre-Columbian Maya books dating to the post-classic period of Mesoamerican chronology. And he studied these, where he put out his theory that these cities do line up with constellations. And during this competition, he was provided from other people hosting this competition radar sat 2 satellite imagery, which is like a Canadian satellite that takes like super geospatial, super detailed level geospec imagery. And using all these, he put 2 to 2 together. And lo and behold, he found an extra city because he's noticed one of the constellations had an extra star that was not lined up with the city. So what do? He went to Google Maps. He used his radar sat imagery, and before we know it, he has discovered the 4th largest Mayan ruin to date. Is that pretty sick?
Impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Wow. So like, how far is this ruin from like the nearest civilized area?
I have no idea.
is it really out there? Like, how did they? I'm just wondering how they missed it. If it's the fourth largest Mayan ruin, is it like a whole Mayan city, or is it like a temple, or what?
Yeah, it's a whole
I'm
city.
not too familiar.
It's the fourth largest Mayan ruin. So Mayan city.
God, wow.
Yeah.
How wide is like?
Oh, I guess I could pull up the specs. But like, here, where are my?
Get us some stats, because I really want to hear. I want to get a feel for how big this thing is.
Yeah, it seemed
Yeah,
pretty
was it
big.
hidden
Like,
by the
if we get
jungle?
like
Was it hidden by the trees or something?
Can we get like an overlay of like it on top of New York, just to get like a size comparison of it to Manhattan? You know.
oh, so here are the. I mean, that'd be really cool. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah,
let me find the.
like
Let
when
me
you
use
see
the article.
pictures of like when they put Star Destroyers over Manhattan to show like.
Of course, he brought Star Wars into this.
Hey man, like that's the first thing I could think of is size comparisons with Manhattan. Yeah.
All right, here's an image. Yeah, look at that.
Actually, I'm gonna look that up.
So it looks a little hidden.
Mayan ruin compared with Manhattan.
Well, you gotta make sure you get the right Mayan ruin. I sent you guys the article that I used as reference.
Any Mayan ruins through over Manhattan. Bro, 15 years old and he looks 12. Congrats.
Are you making fun of him?
I'm not making fun of him. He's a baby.
It's funny because the article mentions the teenager had a close
adorable.
relationship with the Canadian Space Agency, the CSA, and I was gonna make a conspiracy theory off this, but then it went more into detail, and it's like, oh, just through a science competition.
yeah. He's associated with them. Yeah, no, this kid's going places.
Yeah, like what the heck?
Congrats.
So yeah, guys, feel free to look at that article. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why it shows a square man-made structure in the Yucatan Peninsula jungle. So it was hidden by the jungle, but using the satellite imagery, he was able to find it. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
the constellation maps and the imagery.
Yo, that square image. Speaking of square images, in natural appearing places, by the way,